Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of HeartSlayers. You're here with the HeartSlayers, Derrick Acosta and
Meg Turner.
Today we are going to be taking calls, answering emails, solving all of your relationship problems. And I want to let everybody out there know that we are actually coming to the end of season 1 of HeartSlayers. I believe this is episode 23. Mm-hmm. We're going to do one more after this, and then we're going to go on hiatus. So if you're watching this and you're dying to get your question in, you have one more chance. But as for right now, we're going to help all the people who are already on the line. So without any further ado, let's get to it. All right, our first question today comes via email, and it's from a viewer who goes by the letter T. And it reads, "Hey HeartSlayers, I'm stuck in a situation where I have really strong feelings for a friend who doesn't like me back.
Oh.
I realize that probably sounds like a pretty common situation, but I don't have a whole lot of experience with these things. So I really don't know the best way to handle it. To give some context, we're both part of the same circle of friends, and we're all really close. I don't think she's ever suspected that I like her, and we hang out all the time. The only reason I know for sure she has no interest is because whenever people talk about dating in general, she makes it known how much she values physical appearance and can't date, quote, ugly guys. And I'm pretty by the books ugly. Really overweight, with not much going on for me there at all. Of course, I don't hold that against her. I get that's important for most people, but it's pretty clear there's no shot for me with her. The problem comes from the fact that I can't get over how I feel about her. We have fun hanging out. I think I can handle myself pretty normally without letting how I feel slip, and even within the circle of friends, we're two of the closest ones, but after we go our separate ways, I just feel either really sad or depressingly empty. It's been like this for months, and it's only getting worse. So I guess the advice I'm looking for is if I should just try to keep ignoring these feelings, even when it's getting me down, in order to keep one of my best friends, or should I cut my ties and lose my friend, perhaps that entire friend group, because I couldn't get over how I felt. Any advice in either direction and how best to go about it would be greatly appreciated. Thanks, T." So, dude here is in love with his friend. He's convinced himself that his friend does not like him back.
Right.
Because she only likes physically hot guys.
Shallow.
Who?
The girl.
The girl? You think so?
I mean, you're into what you're into.
I mean,
joking.
you know, it says in your email that that is her response when you guys are talking about dating in general.
Right.
Who doesn't generally to date attractive people?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Generally speaking, I would think anybody would prefer to date somebody who's attractive.
Yeah. Or, no, I don't think anybody's going to say, oh yeah, I love dating ugly guys.
I love dating ugly guys. Just something about it. You know, I'm sure there's somebody out there who would say that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I've been in your situation, T. I've been way more overweight than I currently am in the past, and have been head over heels in love with my beautiful friends who I was going to say didn't know I existed, but obviously they knew I existed because we were friends. But they didn't like me back. And you know what? It, just like you described, ate me up inside, and I kind of wrestled with these feelings for months and months and months. So I can tell you kind of how I dealt with that. But Meg, have you ever been in a situation like this?
I've been in situations where I've had guy friends who like me, and I did not feel the same way.
Oh, yeah? Did they ever tell you that they liked you, or could you just tell? You just picked it up?
There have been situations where I picked it up, or other friends have told me.
Oh.
And, like, it's super flattering, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
it's like, I end up feeling kind of bad because it's like, oh, well, I don't feel the same way,
Yeah.
you know, and what can you do? So did you end up like cutting off your friendship with those girls?
Well, yes and no. So for me, you know, well, this is what I want to say to our viewer first, and then I'll get into what I did. I believe I have a real problem with the way you describe yourself as a by-the-books ugly guy.
Yeah.
I really don't think that that is fair, because I believe that anybody can be attractive, and I don't think that attraction necessarily has to do with your physical attributes.
No. Like personality is huge.
Yeah, I read something years ago on the internet, on a forum where guys were talking about breakups and this and that, and one person wrote this thing. He's like, you know, having a nice body is like having a really nice car. It helps, it impresses the girl, but it's not everything.
No.
You know, it's just a nice, like, oh, ooh, that's a nice car.
It could be very temporary.
Yeah, it's flashy, it gets their attention, but at the end of the day, what really comes down to is your personality and how you connect and how you make each other feel.
Yeah.
So I am picking up a lot of low self-esteem vibes from this email.
Yeah.
And I just want to say first, you know what? Stop calling yourself ugly. Maybe you're overweight. Maybe you got...
You can fix that.
Yeah, you've got things going on, but make an effort to improve yourself. Work on yourself and build your confidence up, because as Meg will tell you, there's nothing sexier than confidence, right?
It's true.
Yeah. So getting to my situation, I was overweight. I didn't consider myself attractive, but I believe that, first of all, my lack of confidence was really unattractive. So these girls that I was into obviously probably didn't want to go on a date with me because I was so mopey all the time anyways.
Yeah.
But also, I find this situation happens a lot on this show where people say, I have a friend who I'm in love with, so I'm thinking about not talking to this person ever again. And it makes me think, like, how good is this friendship?
Exactly. Like, how easily could you just cut somebody off because they don't like you back?
Yeah. Is this really a friendship if you are waiting for this person to fall in love with you? And if that doesn't happen, you're willing to walk away from them forever?
Right, because I understand that it's hard to like someone and know that they don't like you back.
Yeah.
But friendship, I mean, personally for me, will always trump like a relationship.
Yeah. I think that you need to figure out for real, are you in this relationship for a friendship, or are you secretly, maybe you don't even realize it yourself, pursuing a relationship, and this friendship is predicated on the relationship you hope to have? With me, you know, this was like back in high school, early college. I was younger. I did get really upset about it. I got really sad. And I had to step back away from those girls that I was friends with and really just spend some time alone and be okay with my own feelings. Like, figure out my own stuff. And honestly, find a girl that wanted to date me.
Yeah.
That way it removed all the confusion of like, what's going on with these friendships? And when I had that, I was able to go back to those friendships. And then those friendships got even better because now I have a girl who knows me very well and can help me bounce off any questions or issues I have about my new relationship. And things got really good. What's funny is in certain cases, I feel like as time went on, as the years passed and I changed as a person and, you know, I lost weight, I got more confident about myself, I had experience with girlfriends, I feel like one of those friends started to develop a crush on me.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me laugh because I was like, you know, if this was like 5, 6, 7 years ago, I would be really happy right now.
Yeah.
But things have changed and...
She missed out.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I know that in the moment things seem so dramatic, like, oh, this is tearing me apart. This is my entire life. But I think that, you know, if you give it some time to sort itself out, you'll find that things aren't as dramatic as they don't need to be as dramatic as they are.
No, I would say definitely keep the friendship and just set your sights on somebody else, or try to.
I am kind of saying figure out if it really is a friendship.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. Do that step number one, and if it is a friendship.
Yeah. If you're in love with this girl and it's going to drive you nuts to not date her and you're settling for a friendship because you really want a relationship, I don't think you should have that friendship.
No, because imagine how she feels.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like, oh, you used me as a friend because you wanted to date me.
Yeah. My advice to you right now, T, spend some time away from your friend. You know what? Just take some time off. You guys are getting too close and it's twisting your head around. Seriously.
Yeah.
I think you need to spend some time with other people, spend some time by yourself, and let yourself not think about that girl for a little while. And you know, get to a place where you're feeling happy and feeling good about yourself. And let me give you some extra special advice.
Oh.
If you really want this girl to fall in love with you, like you say you do, that's not going to happen if you're all sad and lonely and feeling empty every time you guys walk away from each other. Yeah. You know, a relationship, a romantic relationship, when you spend time together, it's great. And then when you walk away from each other, you should still be really freaking happy. You should just be feeling like, oh my God, I had such an amazing time with this person and they care so much about me and they care so much and I care so much about them. And I'm just so happy about this relationship.
Yeah.
So when you're in a situation when you're happy when you're together, but the moment you guys are apart, you're depressed, you're sad, you're kind of like breaking down. That's not really a good starting point for a relationship at all.
No.
So yeah, my advice to you, once again, just to drive it home, take some time off from this friend.
Yeah.
Figure some stuff out. Whether you really want this friendship, if there's never going to be a romance, then I would say pursue the friendship. If it really is something where it's like, I can't bear to, you know, be in this situation and the way things are, then get out of the situation, frankly, and find something that makes you a little bit happier.
I agree.
Thanks for your email, and keep us updated, and good luck. Okay, everybody, now we are going to take a video question. If you want to call us up, but you just don't have the time or you're busy on Tuesdays, don't forget you can always record your question, put it up on YouTube as an unlisted video, send us the link, and we'll watch it, and we'll give you our response. That's what we're going to do right now. Let's get to it. Check it out.
Hey, Meg. Hey, Derrick. I'm a bit camera shy, but I thought I'd give this a try anyway.
Nice.
Back in high school, I dated a girl for about 7 months, and I was head over heels in love with her. I've been in many serious relationships since then, and I've never quite loved anyone like my first love. Anyway, 8 years ago, I dated this girl in high school, and 7 months into the relationship, her best guy friend confessed his love to her, and she ended up leaving me for him.
Oh my God.
What?
I found out from a mutual friend that 3 years later she graduated high school and married this guy she had left me for. It affected my self-esteem for years, and I was in a dark place. I don't even know what to say. I can't describe the amount of heartbreak I went through with this woman. I tried looking her up on Facebook last night just out of curiosity, just to see what she's done with her life.
Classic
and
Facebook stalking.
Yeah.
I discovered that she had gotten a divorce 3 months ago.
Okay.
She divorced the guy she left me for.
F yeah.
I was wondering what you think I should do and what I should say to her. I sent her a request on Facebook and she accepted it, and I kind of want to rekindle a friendship or something more. I feel like if I don't do something that I might regret it for the rest of my life. The feels have come back for this girl. Maybe she made a mistake when she was 16 and she's matured since then. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my call, and I hope you have a nice day.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow. This story of heartbreak and unrequited love. So, they dated in high school, 7 months, love of his life. She dumped him for her best guy friend and married that guy. They recently got divorced. Should he pursue the relationship again? Oof. There's a lot of things in that story that are very interesting. To me, first most interesting thing came at the very end of that story, that she was 16 when she initially dumped him.
Okay.
You know, because when I'm hearing this story, I would think like, you know, she burned you once.
Yeah.
I want to give her another chance. You know, especially when you talk about all the heartbreak you went through one time. She's broken your trust.
Yeah.
You know, you could very easily have a repeat.
Right.
But then you say she was 16.
16.
And I think, like, you know, people do dumb stuff when they're 16, and they shouldn't have to be held to those actions for the rest of their life.
Right.
That's my initial take on this. What do you make of all this? Do you think he should go for it, or should he steer clear?
I mean, like you said, she was 16, so obviously a lot of growth has happened since that point, and I'm sure maybe you don't know, she might feel like she made a mistake.
Maybe.
Honestly, it's a really tough situation.
My go-to, I always say, start fresh. Don't do this on again, off again stuff.
Oh, God, no.
Because the stuff that happened in the past will probably happen again. Problems you had in the past will resurface. But then, you know, this is kind of a weird situation. Maybe there's more information that we don't have, but it sounds like you guys didn't really have problems up until she just up and left you one day.
Yeah. Jesus.
I think that people do change in 8 years, but especially between the ages of 16 and 24. She could be a whole new person now. Like Meg said, she could regret what she did to you. She could miss you. That's one side of it. But on the other hand, she did what she did.
Yeah.
And it hurt really bad. And we can't
ignore
that or forget it or pretend that there's not a possibility for that to happen again. So, my final call on this, I think you should talk to this girl, be honest with how you feel about her in the sense of, you know, I've had a lot of relationships since you, but they've never really matched what I felt like I had with you, and I know you're single now, and maybe we should give it another shot. I would definitely throw in the fact that we're both older, wiser, have changed. That's what you say to her, and you're very honest about the way you feel. I think that's good. What you don't say to her, but what you remember to yourself is, let's not dive wholeheartedly into this relationship.
No.
This girl has burned me very badly in the past, and I would just make sure that I don't put my heart on a silver platter for her.
Yeah, I was going to say, tread very lightly.
Yeah.
Be very careful because you don't want to experience that again.
And that almost makes me feel like it's not worth going through it, because it's really hard to have a relationship when you can't be fully committed, when you can't be trusting.
Because that's always in the back of your head.
Yeah, when you've been burned so bad, you're going to withhold. You know, there's just going to be this elephant in the room. If she ever like makes a new male friend, you know, you might find yourself being extremely jealous.
Yeah.
So I think, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to say these are your two options. Steer clear, because this girl has burned you in the past, and you guys got a lot of baggage, and that kind of baggage makes a relationship hard to handle. But if she really is the love of your life, if this is like a Notebook style romance, you know, Ryan Gosling and who is the girl from the Notebook? Come on.
Rachel McAdams?
Thank you. Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams situation, then I would tell her exactly how you feel. I wouldn't try to, you know, pussyfoot around it. I would just be upfront and honest with her.
Yeah.
And lay your cards on the table and then see what she thinks. Maybe she'll apologize for what she did. Maybe she'll say, like, that was a huge mistake and I always felt bad about it. And maybe even she could say some things to you that make you feel like you could trust her again. It is a sticky situation, so I would tread lightly. And that's my advice. Do you have anything to add to that?
I would say that's probably it. Just be very, very careful.
Be very careful.
Yeah.
And good luck. All right, everybody. We have a follow-up email here. You may remember this question from a few weeks ago. We had a viewer who went by the name Jay. Just to recap, they were in a long-distance relationship with their girlfriend, suspected their girlfriend might be having an intimate relationship with her brother. Didn't know what to do about it.
Got the details on it now.
I believe our advice was you should be honest with her and talk to her about it. Let's get the follow-up right now. Hey guys, so I've got an update on the situation with my girlfriend being intimate with her brother. So, I just can't believe I just read that sentence.
Yeah.
Before asking my girlfriend if she actually was intimate with her brother, I wanted to give it some thought and do some research on the topic of incest. After doing so, I came to the conclusion that, as weird as it sounds, I'd be all right with it. After deciding my stance on the matter, I was straight up with her and told her I had suspected things going on, and she was honest with me and did confirm that she was, in fact, shagging her brother.
Oh.
I was a bit upset she didn't tell me, but we've had a lengthy talk about it, and that mistake on her part has been dealt with. She was extremely worried I was going to get freaked out and dump her because of the taboo nature of the relationship between her brother and her, but I did my best to reassure her I didn't mind it at all. As long as she's happy with it, then I'm happy for her. An odd outcome of this situation has been that her brother and I have been talking more and started to form a friendship. So hey, that's pretty cool. Thanks for the advice on the previous episode. Sorry the update wasn't anything super crazy or dramatic. I'm just glad her and I are able to be honest and open with each other despite what people might think about the taboo nature of the situation.
Nothing
Meg,
super
I'm
crazy
going to you for a
dramatic.
response.
Congrats on having the discussion and clearing up your suspicions. I don't know what else to say about it.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
I don't
got a new friend.
I'll be honest, a moment of honesty here. I don't know if I would be able to be like you. I think that would really bother me. But it doesn't seem to bother you. So who are we to pass judgment?
No, this is a judgment-free zone.
This is a judgment-free zone. Hey, if you want to see judgment, look in the comments below.
No,
because,
don't say that.
Well, I'm just being honest. I'm not going to pass judgment, but I know
not our comments.
I know that there's a lot of people out there who would probably not respond the same way.
No.
It is a very taboo subject. Even just reading that email made me squirm a little bit in my seat. Like this whole conversation, I love this conversation, and I love that you brought it to our show because it does bring up these emotions, and it makes me feel stuff to hear about a situation like this.
The thing is, you're not alone. Like other people are probably in this situation and not talking about it.
You know what's funny too is I have always thought that like no way there's nobody out there who does. Maybe like back in the Middle Ages, but you have just awoken me, pulled the veil off of my eyes that this is actually, you know, something that is going on in contemporary society, and that there are people like you out there that are okay with it and maybe encourage it. Is it okay for me to say it's kind of funny to me? Like
well,
again, I don't want to pass judgment, but like, you know, being friends with your girlfriend's brother.
That is the thing that really got me.
And
like,
you guys
hey,
are both hooking up with her. Like,
I guess that's forming a friendship.
What's that wedding night gonna be like?
Ooh.
You know, is the brother the best man or the co-groom? Or
I was gonna say part of it.
Those are all the jokes I'm gonna make. In all honesty, you know what? If you're happy with your situation, it's your life and you live it however you want.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that you took our advice and you just opened up the channels of communication with your girlfriend.
Hey.
And we seem to resolve your problem, and you guys are back to being a happy and healthy relationship, which means we're really good at our job.
Hell yeah.
So thank you very much for the update. Makes me feel good, and I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
And I don't even need to say good luck because you have good luck. Clearly, you pulled it off. So thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, keep us updated. If there's any more updates, if you find out any more crazy new skeletons in that closet, please, email us. Let us know. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to do another email. This one comes from somebody who goes by the letter C, and it says, Dear HeartSlayers, I've got the craziest problem. For many years, I've had a slow, mostly barren love life. I really didn't know how to put myself out there, so I just let people come to me. I didn't mess with dating apps because I thought I was above the ways of millennials. Now I do know how to put myself out there, and what with the use of dating apps, romance has become a regular element in my life again. The problem is I can get a girl, and when I do, we go on the best dates, so we have the greatest time, I buy everything, you know, the whole 9 yards. But they always start to lose interest, and this cannot be a coincidence, but the last 3 girls have given me the same explanation. And I am by no means making this up to toot my own horn. They all told me they felt like they couldn't keep up with me on an intellectual level, that they don't feel like their lives have been as interesting as mine. And no matter how hard I try to convince them that they are far more interesting than me, far more special than me, and that I consider them my intellectual fencing partner, that is to say equal, the dating usually ends days after the conversation. People tell me to tone it down, but I don't want to apologize for or hide who I am. I've been down that path, and the sense of restraint that it fosters ends up making me lose interest in the girls I'm talking to or dating. That being said, I don't want to be single anymore. I've done it for years. It's not that fun. Should I be myself, knowing I'll have to be Should I be myself, knowing I'll have to be myself single, or should I be someone else in order to escape the despair of loneliness?
Okay. Deep.
Tone it down.
I was going to say that email sounded a bit pretentious.
No, your friends are giving you advice, and I'm going to give you the same advice. Tone it down. I don't think you need to change who you are, see, but I've said this before on the podcast, and it's a little bit of an anecdote about when I was younger, noticing the types of guys who seem to attract all the girls, always had a girlfriend, were always in a relationship. The girls
you're about to say.
all over these guys. They were just dumbass guys. They were so stupid. I was always like, why are these girls dating these idiot guys? And then I'm over here, smart, funny, a little bit overweight, but still cool, like the total package. And what's the problem? And I kind of developed this theory that, dumb people are really good at relationships.
Yeah.
And hear me out. Like, relationships are a matter of the heart. They're not a matter of the mind, and they're not a matter of the intellect. It's like a raw emotion, passion thing. So what helped me as a young guy was kind of just playing dumb a little bit. And I've talked about this on the podcast, like instead of being all super analytical and having my mind racing and thinking about what we're going to be talking about in the conversation, and maybe this conversation will lead here, and ooh, that's something interesting I could say, and being really all up in my head about like impressing the girl with my mind and my personality, just kind of being more in the moment and going with the flow and not thinking so much.
Right.
I didn't have to change who I was.
No.
I just turned my brain off and just went into autopilot mode. I was Derrick in the moment. I was still Derrick, but I was not the intellectual Derrick that is trying to think 10 steps ahead of like, okay, so we're at a date now, but if we leave at this certain time, we can go to this place. That'll be really romantic, and then I'll impress her, and that'll lead to this cool story, and then I'll just be like, you know what? I'm here right now. We're on the date right now. Yeah. And, I try not to think too much about it, and I talk about like, it would be so funny because I would then talk about just what I saw, what was in front of me. Like, oh, you're eating mashed potatoes. You like mashed potatoes? And as stupid as that is a fun conversation. Like, when you're dating somebody, you're learning all about them. You want to learn about their personality. That means their favorite food, their favorite color.
Yeah. You don't have to impress them like with the knowledge that you have.
Yeah. Are they a daytime person or a nighttime person? You're exactly right. You don't need to impress them with the knowledge that's in your head.
No.
You should
want to gain their knowledge.
Yeah. You should be figuring out stuff about them. I always say, you know, think about how little kids on the playground make friends when they're in like first and second grade. It's like, do you like the color orange? Me too. We're going to be best friends.
Yeah.
It is a little bit less intellectual, but let them see that side of you come out over time.
Right, because, I mean, girls do like intelligence, don't get me wrong, but if you're kind of just overwhelming them with this smartness, you might be making them feel dumb too.
Yeah, you might be making them feel dumb. You might be making them feel awkward or uncomfortable.
The fact that you've heard this from multiple girls too is kind of concerning because I don't know what you're saying on these dates.
Yeah.
But it must be at least a little overwhelming to the point where girls are like, oh, maybe I'm not smart enough to be with this person. Maybe I am not interesting and he'll get bored of me.
Yeah, I think you should remember, too, the old adage, I believe it was the great philosopher Cyndi Lauper, who said, girls just want to have fun.
Yeah.
I think that's Cyndi Lauper.
It is.
I find that to be the best piece of dating advice any guy out there could ever hear. Girls just want to have fun. I'm going to speak for Meg and all girls. Girls just want to have fun. They don't want to hear a fucking lecture about, pardon my language. Well, this isn't really a PG show.
No.
Talking about incest, the last call.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear a fucking lecture about like the fall of Rome or Babylonian culture or, you know, the Ming Dynasty and why you think it failed. They don't want to know about...
I don't want to hear your thesis.
Yeah, your theories on rocket jet propulsion and how that really plays into Super Smash Brothers.
I'm sure that you can have intellectual discussions with these girls. Don't get me wrong there.
But have that later.
Yeah, exactly.
For your first few dates, you should just be focused on getting to know the girl, getting to know what she likes and is like, and making sure you guys are having fun together.
Especially if you're meeting these girls through a dating app.
Yes.
Because, I mean, they're not looking... I don't think girls are using, like, Tinder for an intellectual conversation.
It's a good point. Yeah. So, you don't need to change who you are, but just try to go into autopilot mode and
just reel it in a little bit.
Yeah, and be in the moment and only talk about things that are happening at that moment. Try that, and maybe you'll have better luck.
Yeah.
And then slowly you could introduce them to the super intellectual version of yourself.
Yeah, don't limit yourself there.
Yeah. Like Meg said, if all of these girls are telling you the same thing, then you should listen to it because they're giving you some good advice.
Yeah.
You know. Thank you for your email. Good luck. Hey, we got another email here. This one comes from a viewer who goes by the letter M, and it says, "Hey, HeartSlayers. My girlfriend and I have been together for around 2 years, but recently we've been in an argument about how supportive I, quote, should be as a boyfriend towards her actions. My previous girlfriend said something similar, where they both feel that I should support their feelings no matter what. But sometimes I just don't agree with them. I stay quiet because I know they don't want to hear it. But if they actually ask, I don't want to lie about how I feel. For instance, my current girlfriend started a conflict with her sister. It sounds like they went to war.
Yeah.
Started a conflict with her sister. But honestly, I felt that the fight was unnecessary, and I sided with her sister instead.
Oh my God.
So afterwards, when she was venting about it, I just kept quiet. And I didn't say much other than, I don't like starting fights. Because she had just finished a stressful fight with her sister. She said that she needs someone to be more supportive of her. But honestly, I felt that the argument with her sister was her fault. Her friends will, without question, immediately back her up. But is that actually the healthiest way to handle it? I don't want to be appeasing bad habits and validating that certain things are okay when I disagree. Do you have any examples of your own like this? And do you think partners need to be unconditionally supportive to help them get through stressful times? Thanks, M.
Oh my God.
So, as a boyfriend, should you blindly support everything your girlfriend thinks, says, and does?
No. No. You're doing good, dude.
Disagree. I think you should. If you want to stay in this relationship, you should stay in your girlfriend's good. You seriously sided with your girlfriend's sister over the fight? Look, I've dated girls who have been crazy.
Okay, maybe if they're crazy, side with your crazy girlfriend.
And I've definitely been in a situation where they're like, if you don't support what I do, I'm going to be fucking pissed off. And you know what?
To avoid conflict, like further conflict with your girlfriend, I guess side with her then.
Well, that's what he's saying. He's getting into a fight with his girlfriend.
All right, I take it back.
And his last girlfriend said the same thing of you should be more supportive. You don't need to agree with somebody to support them. Yeah. I want to say that first and foremost.
Okay, you're right.
I'm trying to think of a situation, you know, I hate Indian food.
Okay.
But if somebody out there loves Indian food, I'm not going to tell them that Indian food sucks. Right. You know, I'm going to be like, that's cool. You like it. It's not for me, but I'll go with you to the Indian restaurant. I will even go with you to the Indian restaurant if I really like the person.
Yeah.
I'll be supportive, even if I don't agree.
Yeah.
If you know, my girlfriend is arguing with her sister, I'm trying to imagine a situation because I feel like there have been some. You know what I would say? Because a lot of times too, let me give you some tips, dude. I'm going to teach you how to be supportive when you don't agree. A lot of times in a fight, especially between siblings, it's not so much what they're fighting about, it's how they're fighting.
Okay.
You know, and you could support your girlfriend even if you side with her sister because you could acknowledge that her sister has done or said some things to her that have upset your girlfriend.
Okay.
And you could acknowledge that and you could support your girlfriend, right?
Okay.
So you could say like, you know what, I think it's fucked up that your sister would fight about you like this. And I think that, you know, it's messed up that she would continue an argument to the point where you're so upset. And I don't think you should talk to her about this anymore.
Right.
That way, that has no, you know, bearing on your opinion. You don't pick a side, but it's more about kind of how your girlfriend is feeling now and how she got here. And not so much about, well, you were wrong. And I just want to let you know it's your fault.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not supporting that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying to call her out on her mistakes.
Yeah. Think of it like, you know how like the president has advisors? Maybe they don't always agree with what the president is doing or saying, but they're on the president's team. Okay. They're there to advise the president. They're not going to say like, you know, that country you went to war with, you fucked up. And honestly, I'm thinking the other president is right in this situation.
So I'm going over there.
Yeah, no. You have to be on this team wholeheartedly.
Okay.
And you could still give good advice about where there may have been some missteps. You know, if you recognize something like, you know, your sister was saying all this stuff to you, but maybe you didn't realize that she got really mad when you said this. And maybe that's your little secret way of voicing your opinion.
Okay.
But I would never, I mean, nobody wants to hear that they're wrong.
No.
Nobody wants to hear that they're at fault for stuff.
I mean, the only reason why I said that he was doing it all right was that he was staying quiet and not really being like, hey, you're wrong.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I forget that not all girls are as chill as I can be.
I think when a girl is talking to her boyfriend about a fight she just had,
hey, you need to back me up.
She's still upset and she's looking for somebody to calm her down.
Totally.
Or make her feel better. And if her boyfriend is saying like, well, you're actually wrong.
Yeah, no, putting it in that perspective, I agree with you.
Then she's not, the purpose of her talking to you is to be calmed down and to be kind of like, you know, reassured.
Yeah.
And you're not doing that at all.
That's true. That's a really good way to look at it.
So I don't think it's so much that they want you to agree with every thought that they have, but that they don't want you. Now they're continuing the fight they had with their sister with you. And that's what they don't want.
Right.
And so you just saying like, I really wish I had more details about the fight. between your girlfriend and her sister, because then I could give you a more in-depth response on how to handle that situation. Mm-hmm. But I mean, just generally speaking, you don't have to agree with somebody to support them. And you know what? Save your opinions until she has calmed down. Come back to that later. If you really feel like it's necessary to express where you think she went wrong.
Yeah.
You'll probably often find that it's not necessary because the fights will kind of die out and then there's no point in talking about it anymore. Right. So, you know, just try to ride the wave to those tranquil waters if you can. Yeah. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Well, I think this is appropriate now more than ever when I say thank you and good luck. Okay, everybody, we have another email here. This one says, hello. So, I've been dating a girl for 2 years now. We live together. We have plans to go on a nice trip for her birthday this year. The thing is that I think we've been constantly growing apart since we moved in together. We just moved into a new place because we hated the old place. I think we're still pretty good friends, but we have started to grate on each other more and more. I'm constantly forgetting things because I have a bad memory, and it really upsets her. I've tried to get a lot better about it recently, but the other thing is that she's constantly talking down about herself and talking me up and asking me why I'm with her. She also deals with stress horribly by never talking about her problems and lashing out at other little things when she's stressed. I try to talk with her about these things and other problems, but she will sometimes shut down and just get upset and apologize instead of working toward a solution. She, in general, doesn't like to talk much about herself in such a way that I still don't really know her tastes in music. We are both super adamant in our desire for marriage and children. She doesn't want either, and I want both. On top of all of this, I'm still in college and she has a full-time career, and our schedule differences are making the problems worse and worse. I'd really appreciate some advice because this is my first relationship and I have no clue if I'm just getting cold feet or staying in because of the trip or anything else. Thanks, C.
Yikes.
Been dating a girl for 2 years. You guys have started to argue, get on each other's nerves more and more. You're very forgetful. She doesn't like that. She has low self-esteem. She's constantly wondering why you're with her. She doesn't like to open up. You've been dating for 2 years. You don't even know what her tastes in music are.
That's crazy.
You're in college. She has a career. You guys are drifting apart, but you live together. It's your first relationship ever. What should you do?
I wonder if you guys are spending 24 hours a day together aside from work and school, because sometimes I know in the past when I have spent constant time with people that I live with, you end up grading on each other.
Yeah, I think you guys should break up. I'm just gonna cut right to the chase.
Yeah,
there was nothing in that email that seemed like it was worth working towards in this relationship. And let me start with the biggest one, and I'll work backwards. You want to get married and have kids. She doesn't.
Yeah.
Why are you guys together?
That is a major life event that you disagree on.
In the future, there are plans to go down separate paths.
Yeah.
Your future is not intertwined. Your future splits into divergent courses. There's one where you are happily married with a family, and one with her where she is perpetually dating somebody with no kids.
Right.
That person should probably not be you, because it doesn't sound like you would be very happy to be in her timeline, and it doesn't sound like she would be very happy to be in yours.
And it just doesn't really sound like a happy, healthy relationship to begin with.
Exactly.
The fact that you said, yeah, I think we're all right friends. What? Like, when you're dating somebody, it shouldn't be a question of whether you're okay friends or not.
If you can't tell what your girlfriend's taste in music is after 2 years, you guys have a serious lack of communication.
Yeah.
You can't talk about things you like. You really can't talk about things you don't like the problems you're having. And, you know, I see where you're coming from, especially when it's your first relationship and you live together, and you have this big trip coming up soon. Yeah. Those are 3 things that make it really, really hard to get out of a relationship that is kind of falling apart. And sometimes it's hard to even recognize that a relationship is falling apart, especially if it's your first time.
That, and maybe she knows that because she's the one who's talking down about herself. Why are you with me? Like, she probably feels the stress that is on this relationship.
Nobody ever wants to be the person who feels like I let the relationship fall apart.
No.
Everybody wants to feel like I really worked at this. I love this person and I tried hard to make it work. But you know, I see your situation, and it reminds me of situations I've seen with my friends and myself where I kind of in the back of my head knew that the person I was with, it wasn't going to work out, but I didn't want to take responsibility for the breakup. So I figured, like, I'm just going to keep working at this relationship. I'm going to be the best boyfriend I can be. And if she ends up dumping me someday, that'll be really cool because then I'll be fucking free and scot-free with no guilt.
Yeah.
But that ended up, like, really wearing on me.
Oh, God, I did that and it completely backfired in my face. I ended up getting cheated on.
Yeah, it totally breaks you down. So, you know what? I think you should cut ties with your girlfriend right now. Even though you guys live together, break up. And you will continue to live together, but one of you will have to move out. And I think you're going to have a conversation where you say, like, you know what? I don't think we're on the same page. I feel like we're growing apart. It feels like we're kind of roommates and friends and not so much a couple anymore. And I think we should break up. And I think we should, you know, maybe move out and start looking for separate places to live.
Yeah.
And that could be a couple-month process, but that happens. You know, people live together, they break up, they still live together.
Yeah.
But then they start finding new places to live, and they separate.
Right, because right now it just seems like a very stressful situation that nobody wants to be in.
Yeah, and think about this. You're still young, you're in college, you're surrounded by so many people who are probably a better match for you than your current girlfriend. Oh, yeah. There's somebody out there who wants to get married, who wants to have kids, and who wants to tell you about their favorite song.
Yes.
But you're not going to find that person if you were constantly stuck at home arguing with your current girlfriend. So on this show, I try not to just come out and flat out say like, end this relationship. I always want to give some constructive advice, but from everything you've told us, I don't think that this relationship has a future. And I think the sooner you get out, the happier you will be. I can't say if your girlfriend will be happier, but maybe she will too.
Yeah.
Honestly.
She could be afraid of having the same conversation.
Yeah. Oh, especially. She's the type of person who doesn't like to talk about her feelings. She's never going to dump you.
Oh, God, no.
She's probably waiting for you to dump her anyways.
That's why she's like talking shit about herself.
Yeah. And you know, sometimes people, they will just make the relationship as bad as they can to force the other person to dump them.
Yeah.
And that's really not fun. If you guys are not clicking and like really happy and you're having problems, at least talk about taking a break. But I think it should be a big break, as in a breakup.
Especially with the whole marriage and kids thing.
Yeah, that's the real kiss of death on this relationship for me. You guys don't have the shared vision for your future.
There's no longevity there.
Yeah, so you're postponing an inevitable breakup anyways.
Yeah.
Just get it over with and move on and find a happier, healthier relationship.
Yeah.
Thanks for your email. Keep us updated. Good luck.
Good luck.
All right, everyone. That's our episode for today. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, if you enjoy this show and you want to get access to it 1 week early, check out the Mega 64 Patreon. For just $1, you get exclusive access 7 days before anybody else. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us at HeartSlayers. Mm-hmm. You can follow me personally at Gustavo.
And you can follow me personally at Furnace Woods.
Yes. You can email your video questions or your written questions to HeartSlayers@mega64.com. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, we are coming to the conclusion of HeartSlayers Season 1. We're going to be doing one more episode 2 weeks from now, so please give us a call if you've been waiting to talk to us. This is going to be your last chance for a little while. You may have noticed we didn't get any calls today. Sometimes that happens.
Hell?
Yeah, I know. A little bit disappointing, but we had so many great emails. It was all right, but we do want to end on a bang. So make sure you call us up next time we're around here. We'll be back for season 2.
Don't worry.
Bigger and better. But until that happens, I'm Derrick Acosta.
And I'm Meg Turner.
Thank you for watching. And this isn't over yet because I have one more person to thank. Everybody who leaves comments on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the Mega 64 Archive channel and please give your opinion on any of these subjects in the comments below. We're just 2 people and we're really good at what we do, but we always love to hear the opinions of everybody else out there, and we just like to know that people are watching.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody who leaves a comment, who watches, and we'll see you next time for the final episode of HeartSlayers Season 1. Bye-bye.